Welcome back. Police in Ngomongo village of Kirinyaga County have impounded 4,000 liters of illicit brew. Led by Kirinyaga County Commissioner Joseph Keter, their officers stormed the village and nabbed the brewers, who included a woman who was found with 1,600 liters of illicit drink known as Makavo. The county commissioner said the culprits will be arraigned in court after investigations are complete, and faulted the administrators and police officers for allegedly protecting the brewers, who he said were well known in the village.
Tulimpata mshukiwa moja akiwa na pombe lita 1,580. Mshukiwa wa pili ambaye alitoroka baada ya kujua kwamba tumefika, ametoroka, lakini tumepata kwake nyumbani lita 240.
Now, Vivo Energy says it is going to partner with the National Transport and Safety Authority to reduce the number of accidents involving motorbikes. The company says the number of motorbikes accidents have increased because the motorbikes are not using the right accessories. The company's managing director, Polycarp Igathe, says the company will soon roll out a plan to reduce the accidents. He observed that Kenya is the 4th country in the world with the highest number of motorbikes, and hence the need to address the issue. Igathe was speaking when he launched 2 Shell motorbike lubricants in Nairobi.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And surprisingly, Kenya is actually the 4th largest country in terms of motorbike population in the country. Number 1 being Burkina Faso, then we have Uganda and Mali. So what this basically says is that motorcycles increasingly is becoming a big customer segment for us, and we cannot ignore their demands and their needs.
We need to try and contain that. I know we have a new leader at the Bureau of Standards. We need to look at the issue of counterfeit menace, and we also need to look at the issue of safety. Allow me not to sit down by not saying that we shall partner with our government to make sure that, especially borders, when you ride in a border, you don't ride to die. You ride to get where you are going safely.
Well, the need to have more police officers deployed to major cities and other vulnerable areas to fight terrorism has brought with it challenges of police housing. It is now emerging that in Nairobi County, police officers and their families are now required to accommodate recently posted officers. Well, the Inspector General of Police, David Kimayo, admits the situation is dire, but is quick to add that the solution is around the corner. As the war on terror goes a notch higher, over 100 CID officers have been transferred to Nairobi to join different police stations. But even as they come to join their colleagues in boosting security, the police service is faced with a dilemma as to where the new officers will reside. This follows a shortage of police houses. The Director of Criminal Investigations, Ndegwa Muhono's office, has issued a circular to all heads of criminal investigations within Nairobi County, directing them to make proper arrangements for allocation of houses to officers who have been posted or transferred. The signal in our possession reads, and I quote, "The DCI has directed that officers under your command who have been allocated 2-bedroom houses to give room to officers posted or transferred to Nairobi County as shown on the attached list." We got access to some of the 2-bedroomed houses that are to be allocated to the transferred officers, and the living conditions for those who are already here leaves a lot to be desired. The houses are already crowded, forcing them to partition the rooms in order to accommodate the new officers. Some of the officers we spoke with expressed concerns as to the living conditions once the directive is implemented.
Tutaongezewa watu ambao wamepewa transfer kukuja. Sasa ile shida kubwa tuko nayo, si nyumba, tunaishi na familia, na si ni 2-bedroom. Sasa ndio tunashangaa, hizi nyumba tuko na maid, watoto ni wakubwa wanaenda shule. na inasemekana tupeane rumu moja.
According to the officers, this will mean that the house will be occupied with more than 2 families, given that some of the officers will be coming with their families.
Wale ambao wameletwa kwa nyumba ni vijana chipukizi ambao tuna wasiwasi, hata wale watoto tuko nao ni wakubwa, tuko na mamaid.
They fear this will be a recipe for disaster, since some of them have teenage children and no one is sure of the fellow officers being brought to stay in the same house. Speaking to Citizen TV on phone, Inspector General David Kimayo acknowledged that the issue of housing is a big issue, but said it was just temporary.
From where we are coming from, the housing accommodation of police officers has been a very, very serious problem. But I think we want to appreciate this current government of Jubilee, that they are prioritizing security matters in the agenda.
Kimayo called on the officers to be patient and appreciate what they have, adding that the matter is being addressed to make sure that the officers have comfortable life.
That we have at the moment, we must actually appreciate, and officers should be able to share amongst themselves. But what is important is appreciation that something good is coming.
This comes even as the president promised to make the living conditions for the officers bearable, adding that the men and women in uniform needed better living conditions as they guard the life and properties of Kenyans.
New housing scheme will be initiated and rolled out to all 47 counties to ensure proper housing for our men in uniform and women in uniform.
Michael Njenga, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Well, they are the men and women in uniform who protect us. And, I think housing is a big issue.
Who takes care of them if we want them to take care of us?
Yes, that's the question.
Their motivation when they go home to rest, are they resting well?
They want to rest, they want to have a place where they can, just have a nice time with their families. Good. What the living conditions are.
I think it's time maybe as Kenyans we also changed our focus. I think we've been a bit too harsh on the police. Yes, security is their domain, but
yes.
I mean that story, I feel that the anger with which Kenyans, especially on Twitter, speak out when there's been an incident should be the same sympathy.
The same sympathy,
absolutely. After a story like that.
Absolutely. Well, time for sports. How many days to go?
We're about less than 9 days. Next week, Thursday, the World Cup kicks off. But before that, I've just come back from Samburu.
Yes.
The Rhino Charge was on this weekend. And if I'm looking a bit confused or rugged or one of the, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
I missed it. I really wanted to go.
It was fantastic. Domestic tourism was visible there. And I think stakeholders can take, if you can have events like that in every county, it'll be something to look at. But I'm talking too much. We'll have the sports up next and you'll see what was happening out there.